A few weeks ago, I went to Collector's Showcase down at the Olympia in London. Now, this was my second ever card show. Back in the summer, I went to London Card Show, and that was so overwhelming for a first timer. There were so many people, so many vendors, so many binders, so many cards that all the plans I had of what I was going to look for just went out the window, and all the budget that I was going to stick to was non-existent. So I wanted to do things differently this time. Did it work? Sort of. So what was my plan going in? Well, I was going to have £150 cash budget, because cash is king at these kind of things. I was going to look for the Latios from Surging Sparks, because I recently managed to pull the Latias. I wanted to get a card that was Christmas themed, because by the time this video comes out, it's going to be the Christmas period. I wanted to pick up a card that I've never seen before, could be at any budget, cheap card, slightly more expensive card, didn't really matter. I wanted to pick up the Carablast from Black Bolt, because I think it looks really funny, and there's so many illustration rares that the chances of me actually pulling that myself are quite slim. And that was about it. I kind of wanted to keep it fairly simple so that I actually stick to it. Did I? Find out. It is currently 7:30 in the morning. I'm freezing. It's dark. Feels like I should still be in bed. But we're going to go get some cards.
Hiya. We got one. Please grab a pen.
Thank you.
Hello.
So my plan going in was to do a full lap of the venue, flip through some binders, get a feel for prices, but not commit to buying anything straight away. And that plan sort of worked, mainly because I didn't really have a choice. You'll see this theme in a lot of the footage. Queues, endless queues. I think I spent about 90% of the time stuck behind someone's sweaty back, their backpack, staring at the back of people's heads. I'm pretty sure someone even farted at one point. The first vendor I probably ended up stopping at was Alf the Ripper, and in their binder I might have already found a solution to one of my goals. A Christmassy themed card. I spotted this Metagross from Temporal Forces, which I think actually, honestly, might be one of my favourite winter themed cards in general. He's ploughing through snow, there's a snowman at the bottom. It's perfect, I thought. It was priced at £15, which felt fair, but I didn't want to commit so early into the show. I passed this vendor which was selling 3D printed controller stands and figures, and I had a look through some display cabinets with cards that were way out of my price range. I flipped through a few more binders too, but again, since I was still in scouting mode, I held off on buying anything. There were loads of full art cards here though, mostly like Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield, and then a few random older ones mixed in. One card that I was on the hunt for was the Crown Zenith Pikachu, where he's holding the little leaf, and I actually spotted it here for £20, which seemed like a solid price, but still I hesitated, something I'd end up slightly regretting later. I tried to condition check as best I could, but since most of these would be binder cards, it didn't really matter as long as they were sort of near mint. I also flicked through this top loader binder that had a real mix of cards for almost like every era of Pokémon. There was some great mid-era stuff in here, but pricing wise I was completely out of my depth, so I didn't want to risk overpaying for stuff. Next up was show decks. Once again, a really varied selection across all different eras. I spotted this reverse hollow Torchic, which I was really tempted by, but I'm more of a mudkip man myself, so it went back in the binder and I left it for now. This vendor was really cool because they had loads of vintage items. They had sealed packs, they had these old deck boxes, lots of stuff that looked really cool on display. Their binders were stacked with E-series cards, and even though I wasn't collecting during that era, it's probably my favourite era art-wise, but it's really hard to find those cards in good condition at reasonable prices, and there were so many here that I didn't know where to start, and since none of them were on my goals list, I decided to leave them for later. Now, my first actual deal of the day happened at Pokéyod's stall, and it was a bit random, but it definitely ticked my goal of finding cards that I'd never seen before. I found this hilariously lost looking Togepi. My girlfriend's a big Togepi fan, so that was an easy pickup. I also grabbed a Sudowoodo for myself because I'm a huge Sudowoodo fan, and the Togepi was £5, the Sudowoodo £3, so with £10 cash I wanted to round it out. I spotted this Delta species Charmander for £3. I knew nothing about it, had no idea if it was a good deal, but I loved the artwork, and the vendor kindly did all three for £10, so first deal of the day was done. Hey man, will you do that for 10? Cash? There you go, man. Thanks. Next was Elite Four Collectibles, who I actually recognised from the London card show. I'd bought from them before, so I knew their pricing would be fair, and I knew that they would have a lot of cards. I ended up spotting this Plusle card, the one that pairs with the Minim, and I actually collect Pokemon cards that feature food. A bit random, but this one has pizza in it, so that was an instant win. Then I found the Carablast from Black Bolt, which was on my goals list. I have no attachment to Carablast, I just love the art. Once I had two cards, I went into full bundle deal mode. I grabbed a Kricketune that I knew my girlfriend had been after, then I kept digging through some of the other binders. Eventually, I found this Lost Origin Trainer Gallery Snorlax, because who doesn't love Snorlax? And then added this Milotic for £5, which felt like an absolute bargain. Hey man, would you do that for 40 cash? I know, yeah. I think it's just over.
I think you're actually overpaying.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Is there? I think there's another card behind there. That might be it.
That'll be why. I was like, yes, fine.
Yeah? Cheers. Thank you very much.
I was like, hang on a minute, you're over.
Yeah, no. Thanks, man. I always enjoy seeing a variety of Pokemon merch at these shows. Even though this is only my second show, so what do I know? But this vendor had loads of cute, slightly derpy items. They had these custom cards where you could have them draw your favourite Pokemon on them. They also had pins, badges, jewellery, all kinds of things. And I ended up picking up a small, derpy little Charizard pin. I ended up heading back to Alf the Ripper's stall because I was pretty convinced the Metagross was the Christmas card I wanted for the challenge. It was also still the best price I'd seen all day. So I flicked through the binders one more time just to see if I could bundle anything else with it, but in the end didn't really see anything, so I happily paid the £15, which I thought was fair. Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Adios.
I then went to show the card to my friend, who I will call Pokemon's #1 hater, Seb, who'd somehow been dragged along by another mate to the show to see what he thought of my Christmas card. What do you think of that?
He's shoveling snow.
It's Christmassy. The snowman? That's challenge completed.
Oh, are you doing challenges?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's got a snowman.
Look, that one's there rolling the pool.
God, this guy is Scrooge.
Winter is not Christmas.
It's got a snowman. That's Christmassy.
Is it?
I would say it is.
Our other friend had some older Ace slabs that he wanted to trade, so we decided to queue up at Randolph's table. He managed to get a deal that he was pretty happy with, and it was great to meet Randolph, although my camera died just before I could shake his hand, so I missed my big moment. Once my camera was recharged, I stopped by L's TCG and I spotted the Crown Zenith Pikachu again. This time priced at £22. I had completely forgotten about the £20 one I saw earlier, but I managed to haggle it down to £20 anyway, so it kind of worked out fine, even if I could have technically saved a couple of quid at the other place. I also picked up this little Poncho Charizard figure, which is pretty cool. One of my final stops was Caldera Collectibles, where I found one of the main goals of the video, the Latios from Surging Sparks to pair with the Latias I'd pulled. It was stickered at £25, which was one of the lower prices I'd seen at the show, and since it was near the end of the show, I was ready to spend. I also spotted the legendary Birds tag team from Hidden Fates for £30.
Hey man, do you reckon you could do 50 on these two together?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, cash?
Yeah. Can you grab the one at the front?
Yep.
It's not even recognising the cards, is it? Oh, no, there we go.
There's that. There's
Cheers.
that.
Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you.
Have a nice day, mate.
I had one last £10 burning a hole in my pocket, so I did one final lap of the show. I checked all the binders and cabinets until I found the perfect card, which was the Mess Spirit from Surging Sparks. Ties in nicely with the Latios and the Latias, and it was priced at exactly £10, so it felt like the perfect way to end
Hey
the
man,
day.
can I get the Mess Spirit? Yeah, that one. Cheers, thank you very much.
With that, I headed back out on the picturesque streets of London to make my way home and have a look at everything I'd picked up and see how the day had gone. Right, so we are back. Let's have a little rundown of what we picked up and how happy was I. Now, spoilers, this first deal did not go as well as I thought it did, because this Togepi has what I can only describe as like a brown poop stain on that left side. I don't know how I did not notice it. I mean, I can try and give it a wipe. That's what you do with poop, right? But yeah, a little bit disappointing for the first deal. But the other two cards from it, the Sudowoodo and the Charmander, they're fine, and they both look really cool. And it was one of my goals to pick up some cards that I'd never seen before, and they do fit that. Just a little bit annoying about the poop. Now, the Carablast, this was one I wanted to grab going in, and I got a pretty good deal for it. The art on this is hilarious. I don't see that many people talk about it, but I love it. And the Kricketune, now this was one for my girlfriend. It's actually gone up quite a lot. Even though it's only £6, I swear it was only like £2 a few months ago. It has so many different Pokemon in it. It must hold the record. I don't think I've ever seen a card that has this much Pokemon in it. Now, the Snorlax. Now, this was a card I actually wanted to pick up at the London card show, but hesitated and then seemed to forget about. Otherwise, it would have maybe actually made my list of goals for this video. But I ended up spotting it and picking it up for not a bad price, so pretty happy with that. The Milotic, £5 seems like a bargain for such a nice art. I was pretty happy with that as well. Now, the debatable Christmas card of the video. I think it's very Christmassy, and I also think it's just a really nice art in general. This Metagross from Temporal Forces, I think is the reason you don't see it very much, because people hate on Temporal Forces. But I think this is a really nice art, and I'm pretty happy with it. It might even be my favourite of the whole video, to be honest. The Pikachu from Crown Zenith, now I did see this for £20 earlier in the card show, but I ended up picking it up for £20 anyway, doing a deal, so it didn't really matter in the end. Now this was probably the surprise of the whole card show. I never expected to pick up any tag teams, let alone one in English, because they tend to be really, really expensive. But I ended up picking this one up, along with the Latios, which is here, for £50, which I think is actually a really good deal on these two. And I just think it's a really nice art. Like, you see the stained glass promo a lot, but you don't see this one very often. So happy with it, even though it was a surprise. Now the Latios, even though I only got it near the very end of the video, it was one of the main goals because I just got the Latias recently, and it feels like I got to complete the set. And also, kind of completing the set, the last card of the show was the Mesprit, which is also sort of in the same sky. Not exactly. Kind of looks like maybe it's across the lake. I don't know. But kind of worked out perfectly for my last £10. And I think overall, I spent the budget kind of perfectly. I don't really have too many regrets. I maybe would have wanted to pick up a few more vintage cards, and that might be something for next video. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Was that your sweaty back that I was behind? Put it in the comments. And like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you want to see more. There'll be plenty more card shows coming up, probably after the Christmas period, but there'll also be some unboxings and various different things on the channel. So if you enjoyed this, there'll be more.